Following its introduction in the 1970s, media today is becoming more immersive. VR headsets are getting cheaper and more advanced, more games and apps are developed for VR every month, and surround sounds has become the standard at large cinemas. Audio is central to these experiences, and so the field of immersive audio is growing at a rapid pace. As immersive audio goes beyond two-dimensional surround, the latest formats extend the sound field into 3 dimensions by adding ceiling speakers to create a dimension of height. We asked some of today's cutting-edge audio innovators how they are helping to stay ahead of the technological curve.
The attraction of surrounded sound and immersive sound has always been there. And I kind of put it down to the fact that from a survival perspective, sound's very, very important in our survival in the dark or in the jungle. We need to know the vector location of any sound we hear. But what's more interesting than maybe is a sound that moves, because that's something you really got to pay attention to. And so I think that's built into us.
If you look at the theatre market, I think it's perfectly credible. I can absolutely see that you would want an immersive audio experience with sound effects. Whether it needs to be quite to the level that some people are driving it at the moment, I debate. Do I believe that image or immersive has a place in rock and roll long term? I think the jury is very much still out on that one. If I'm at a gig and the guitarist is stage left, I'm quite happy for that to be coming out of a PA stack stage left. Do I need to listen to that guitarist move through 5 clusters of speakers as he goes left to right? No, I do not.
We have a small system in at Guildford School of Art down at the University of Surrey, and they have a lot of people there that go from there up into the West End and things. And we did a Timex demo there where we changed the normal 3 hangs to, I think it was 7, could have been 5. It is clever technology. It definitely works, it definitely has an experience. And it will have 2 effects. One, it drives the profits of the big boys because they're selling more speakers. And in turn, that should wash down.
I think just in general, what we're working towards at the moment is taking our existing tools and expanding them to be more compatible with an Atmos workflow. The challenge now is working out how things like loudness and true peak work once you get into an object-based environment rather than a channel-based environment. That's something we're trying to figure out currently.
I don't mind admitting, at the beginning, I thought immersive would be a bit of a here today, gone tomorrow thing, to a certain extent. There were some bits of it that have always been there, and there's some companies that have done it for a long time and done it very, very well. But there was suddenly what seemed to be a big flurry of everybody was doing it. But I think fair to say I was wrong, and I think it is definitely here to stay. I think the way it's going to be done is going to change, as traditionally it's based around quite advanced hardware systems, and I think as things with computers get more advanced, a lot of what used to be done in a rack mount piece of kit could now be done on a laptop. So I think the way it's done will change. But yeah, I think it's here to stay.
I think we're still a bit early days in terms of how to mix in immersive audio formats. I think still there is a lot of questions in the industry. We see that it's slowly penetrating the studio market, with obviously Dolby Atmos is quite strong there, but there is still a lot of engineers talking about, how to mix in 3D audio. It's quite interesting. And for live sound, it's a bit the same. We have met with a lot of sound engineers, and there is a lot of thought process in, parallel compression. What do you do on a bus? What do you do on a channel? What do you do in immersive processors? I think there is still a lot of opportunities that we could provide in the tools.
Still, one of the running jokes in the industry is, you've got brilliant engineers and brilliant technology spending so much time and inspiration and sweat over making the best sound and recording you can, and you got 90% of the population listening to it through a pair of AirPods. So I think that is going to be the real test, is how the people that are creating the actual things you listen through, making sure they're really fully in on supporting being able for people to have that experience. So they can listen to this back without having to buy a bunch of external stuff like an extra D to A or something like this, to have that and go, wow, there is a real big difference here. Listen to all this stuff I've been missing, or listen to what immersive sound can be for me. I would hope that they're going to invest a lot in to make sure that that they make it easier for people to be able to discern and hear the difference. Because if they do that right, it's great for the whole industry.